Yo, what's going on, guys? Gonna be showing you how to play Udyr. First things first, get your Q and use it to get your free 3 stacks. You're gonna want Press the Attack or Conqueror, then you're gonna want Triumphant, Tenacity, 𝐒𝐿 with Nimbus Cloak and Water Walking. If you're going for Conqueror, your early ganks are gonna be a lot weaker. So if you're below Diamond, then it's normally better to go for Press the Attack. If you are above Diamond and up, then obviously Conqueror will give you more values in 1v1s to the death and better scaling. We're going to be running a highly economical Udyr build, which is Cinderhulk. It's one of his highest win rate builds. Pretty much rush Cinderhulk after that. If the enemies are going to be stacking armor, if your team's AD heavy, you can go Black Cleaver. Or straight after Cinderhulk, you could rush into either Trinity Force or a Sterix Gauge. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing. Normally on Udyr, you start for the best leash possible. And in this case, I feel like we could easily gank Shen as long as my top lane doesn't push, or we can invade Lee Sin on his blue. He foolishly went Ignite, so we should be able to punish it. We're going to auto attack Q reset to maximize our damage. Get an awesome leash on Udyr. He plays a lot like Warwick, so if you guys already enjoy Warwick, you could pick up Udyr really fast. He's super easy to play. We're going to swap on our W, immediately go back to our Q, and our Q's back up. The only reason you swap to W is for the initial heal it gives you in the shield. You're not staying on W for long since Q is your main source of damage. Q is where the money is at. It's where all the big boy damage is. W is just for, like I said, the initial shield and the heal it gives you initially. So whenever it's back up, you're going to swap back to Q. You will run out of mana if you start red side and try to full clear. Udyr is not much of a full clear champion. If you are going to full clear, you are going to need to start Hunter's Talisman. Otherwise, good luck, because you're going to be very sad. It's not going to turn out very well for you. We're going to swap back to our W. A big part of it is managing your 3 stacks. After your 3rd auto, you get a heal, or on your Tiger Stance, you do extra damage. So that's mainly when we swap off of, is on the 3rd one. So on the Tiger Stance, once you've blasted the 3rd one, then we will be moving from there to our Turtle Stance, or whatever we need to do. Alright, Lee Sin is not in the area. That is shocking. He must have started blue side. So what we're going to do is try to gank and then just go for double Scuttle Crab. That is very strange, very unusual for Lee Sin to start where he started. I don't think this is particularly gankable. Shen's just chilling. Oh, here's Lee Sin. We're going to Q him. We're going to now use our speed up, stun him, swap back to Turtle. Back on Tiger. Bada boom. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get that. But we are going to be able to get the Scuttle Crab. That's fine with me. Blast it with Tiger after we use our Bear Stance. Bear Stance and Tiger are your most important for ganking. You're not even going to be leveling up your Phoenix whatsoever. We're going to max Q first, E second, and W last. Phoenix is useless. Phoenix is a little bit underpowered and very suboptimal right now. I wouldn't recommend it. We should be full HP. Udyr farms fairly healthy. We went in that gank and we still have full HP and a potion. Still have our smite. We can invade the Lee Sin and trash him. We still have our red buff. Off that double Scuttle Crab, if I didn't want to invade, I would just go for Gromp, continue to clear, and then I could back on Balmy Cinder. It's a really good first item back. Alright, we're going to go ahead and reset. We can get our Balmy Cinder and a pink ward. What we're going to do is now path into Dragon. Udyr can solo dragons really well. Very similar to almost like a Master E. If you guys know how to take dragons properly on E, you can take them super easily. If you're using your Q resets properly and your meditate, particularly against Flame and Earth Drake. Udyr does well against any of the dragons. We're going to E to our next camp. It's going to cost us a bit of mana, but that's alright. The most important thing is once you have Balmy Cinder, make sure you start your camp with your Bear Stance. That way you can proc the massive burn effect by inflicting a hard CC. This is what's going to give us our really good AoE clear. We're not even swapping the Turtle here because we're still super high HP. We are going to be swapping to Bear to get there faster and also for the stun. We're going to use that once. We are going to have to manage our mana until we have Hunter's Talisman though. We're going to take out these little guys. We're going to take out the big guy and then we're going to push for Dragon here. Could go for Gromp, but we're starting to run low on mana. Ideally, in your first back, you can get Hunter Talisman and Bomby Cinder. In this case, we hadn't gotten any kills, which is unfortunate on Udyr, so we just went for the Bombies. Gonna lay down my Pink Ward. Could just used my Oracle Lens. I'll save that for a gank though. Can cover more ground with an Oracle Lens for ganks. We're running very low on mana here. Gonna hit it with a Q. Normally dragons are a bit easier, but we're already very low on mana. So one downside to having Bomby Cinder before you have your Talisman is if you try to solo something like Dragon, you are going to run out. Unfortunately, Udyr is very, very mana hungry in extended fights. A lot of people don't realize that. We're going to go ahead and reset. We'll come back to our blue buff. We'll have our Hunter's Talisman. Pick up another Pink Ward if we want. Looks like Lee Sin's top side. We're going to go invade his jungle. Udyr plays really well against melee jungle champions. His late game is really bad though. I would not recommend him if you're looking for a late game champ, or if you're looking for a meta champion. I wouldn't recommend him either. This is just for those of you, for whatever urge you want to play Udyr, because he just looks so cool, right? That's the main purpose of this. As you're moving around the map, especially if you have blue buff, or if you are full mana, you're just going to be using your E. Don't worry about your passive. You don't need to keep all your passive stacks up. It's not worth burning your whole mana pool for just mashing down your W and your E. I mean your W and Q. You're just going to be using E to get around the map. Running the Scuttle. Looks like Lee Sin just died. We'll go to take his red buff and then kill him on it. He's respawning in right now. We're going to E over there. Get there a bit faster and start maxing our E second. We can take this really, really quick. Preferably before he gets here. Stun it, then we'll blast it with Q. Swap off for W heals, swap back to Q. And we should find him right here. Yep. Nimbus Cloak speed up. I'm gonna E away. Luckily Bane Condemn was pretty rough. We'll go for his Raptors now. That was really close. If we could have done it over again, I would have blasted him with Q. That would have been better. That way, I would put out more damage initially, and by the time he reacted, then I could stun / speed up on him with my bear stance. So that was a bit of a misplay on my part. Should have just blasted him with a Q first and then stunned him. I think we can get the solution. He does have Ignite, it's gonna make it rough. Oh, he's gonna take a turret shot. This guy's a goober. We have red buff. I'm gonna swap to W. Nice, nice. We only swapped to W because we just procced our third hit on our Q, so we got the massive dot damage as it was. So I just swapped to W real quick for the healing strike, and then I was gonna swap back to Q. Gonna go ahead, take down turret since we just killed Lucian. And we can push him to Lee Sin's blue buff here and really punish him. The nice thing about Cinderhulk Udyr is he has a lot of cost-effective items, and he also plays better in team fights than damage Udyr. If you're running damage Udyr, you're probably doing it more for split pushes than anything else. I'm gonna use my stun to proc my Cinderhulk. I mean my Bomby Cinder. Get as many places as possible. We're gonna run away. I don't think I have time to invade Lee Sin now. He's going to be over there and have taken it, and I have a lot of gold, so I'm going to go ahead, just grab these real quick. I don't want him to swoop over here and grab them. I have plenty of mana, and I'm also about to back. I'm just going to shuffle through my spells. Just stay out with my Q. Pull it in the bush. And I'm going to go ahead and take golems while I'm here. That way it all respawns at once. Stay on my tiger stance for maximum damage. Most important spells on Udyr are your Q and your E by far. Without your E, Udyr can't gank. And without Q, you do no damage. Your W is just to supplement your health early game, or in really close niche fights after you proc your third empowered hit on Q. Then you normally swap back to E to get a bit of health back. Go ahead and go for blue smite. They have a lot of kite. Oops, that's the wrong one. Holy cow, I was wondering why it was so much. Yeah, we'll go for blue smite, and we'll also pick up a Tabby's If you are going tenacity in your runes like we went, you don't really need to go for Merc Treads. In general, you will be going tabbies with this setup. If they are full AP on their team, or like 4 AP, then you can go for Merc Treads. But in general, 9 out of 10 times, tabbies is what you're going to do with this setup. You can go straight into Dragon here. Grab this real quick, and then I'll hit bot. Look like they're having a fight to the death. Once you have full item, or your clears are really healthy, you don't need to bother wasting your W, because it doesn't actually speed up your clear. All it does is give you a bit of healing. So you're mainly, at this point, just going to be running around with your E for speed up, and then bashing things in with Q. Can't use my W here, though, if I really wanted to. I'm not going to bother. I want to keep my... No, now that I mention it, we're already starting to get a bit low. Hit it with the 1 W hit. There we go. We're going to E out. Laid their herald top. I'm going to go ahead and grab his camps. Maybe kill their mid laner if Lucian shows up here. If he shows up top, then I'll just take the turret. Alright, he's here. Nice. See how fast we take it? After we stun, our Cinderholt goes off and it burns like crazy. We're going to wait until he can see us. Now we're going to E for the big burst of movement speed. Stun him. QQ. Whenever you're using your bear stance on Udyr, make sure you're not using it too early, because the movement speed only lasts for 2.5 seconds. So since it only lasts for 2.5 seconds, you're mainly only using it once they can see you. Because if you use it before they can see you, the value you're getting out of it is pretty much non-existent. Because by the time they can see you, you're not even moving fast. That's why a lot of times you're just walking... You'll just be walking behind them, and then once they realize you're there, or once they can see you on their screen. So here, we're going to E in. We're going to try to save him. That's why we used it so early. Mash him with our Q. Bard. Flash. Our dot damage killed him on our Q, though. Let's take down the turrets. You don't really want to be playing Udyr past the 30-minute mark. That's when you're really going to start to see him struggle. He struggles in general against really tanky comps. You'll find yourself struggling a lot versus that. So if they have like a Maokai, Braum, or like a Rammus, like Darius, if they have like double tank or bruiser tank, a bruiser and a tank, you'll struggle. If their team's full squishy, or if they're not, as long as they can't just have someone stand in front of you and destroy you, then you'll be fine. But yeah, Udyr's not technically meta right now. He's a little bit off meta. As long as you are playing in below diamond, you can still get really good results if you are prioritizing dragon. You can take dragon as early as level 3 and 4, as long as you have enough mana for your Q. Preferably don't do dragon until you have Hunter's Talisman, because like what you saw, I tried to do it without Hunter's Talisman and it got a little sketchy. If you rush down Balmy Cinder over Hunter's Talisman, then you're going to be doing more monster clears and ganks than taking dragon. So in that case, I messed up. I should have gone for the Talisman over Balmy Cinder if I did plan on taking that early dragon. Let's go. You can also stun monsters out of their auto attacks. So as the red's about to hit you or the blue, you can just smack them with your stun. Early game, you don't usually do that because it's just better to swap the turtle stance. Kya! Hit him with the E, swap back into Q. I'm going to go into Lee Sin's jungle. He's dead. I'm going to take his camps. Udyr farms really fast with Cinderholt. Check it out. Bear stance, stun, procced by Cinderholt. Oh, I actually didn't proc it. It was still on cooldown from the minion. So you guys are seeing it without the proc Cinderholt. It's still pretty fast. I want to show you what it looks like with this Cinderholt. So it's actually way faster than that. Stun him. Get off my Bard. Alright, we'll let him be. We'll go take his camps. Udyr is one of the most outdated champions in the game in terms of kit. He hasn't been touched in a really long time. All they've done is just like some stat changes, but they haven't actually changed his kit like at all. I need this blue buff. I'm gonna smite if I need to. I don't know why Tristan is trying to take it. Stun it. Blast it. For those of you saying, well, I see a lot of Udyrs going Warrior and Blood Razor, we already talked about that. If you're going to go Warrior Blood Razor, you're going to be playing more of a split push Udyr. I honestly don't think I can match Shen. Shen's one of those champions that kind of counters Udyr because of his auto attack circle. You can't auto him while he's in it. Shen can also go for Thornmail. So unless you know you can solo anyone on the enemy team, I wouldn't go for Warrior or Blood Razor because it's going to fall off in team fights and it's not as cost effective as Cinderhulk is. Really is fucked. I can't save her. We're going to go ahead keep playing around the dragons. Even though Udyr falls off really hard late game, as long as you have dragons, his late game is still playable. He's a reasonable champion late game with Dragon Soul. You just avoid bad fights, keep taking their camps, because look how fast I'm moving. I'm moving at pretty much a non-stop 500, and once I get more cooldown reduction, I'll be able to stay on constant bear stance. So you're moving around the map really, really fast. That's one of the upsides. Just you need to avoid these weird bad fights. You'll find yourself getting really far ahead. We're gonna go snag Dragon while we're at it. If they're gonna take these weird fights, we can shred Dragon down. Oh, there he is. EQ, baby. He really wants that scuttle crab. Come on, baby, let's go. The only reason why I did that is I don't want him to outsmite me. If he Qs in, it's actually really hard to outsmite him. It's basically 50-50. So I would rather burn my flash, use my Nimbus Cloak, than risk him stealing it. 100% worth. Because now we only need one more dragon and we get Dragon Soul. That's right. For those of you who are saying, you know what, I like Udyr. He's a big, thick boy. But he's just not meta right now, so I don't know if he's for me. I don't know why you're asking yourself that late, because we're 16 minutes into the video. But if that is the case, I would recommend playing something like Olaf or Warwick over Udyr until Udyr gets some proper buffs. But for those of you who really do want to play Udyr, this is generally his play style. Farming dragons, early game invades against enemy jungle champions. Assuming you're farming correctly, you should be full HP, which will give you a massive edge. Because most jungle champions, most of them, not all, but most be missing at least a third of their HP. Look at that Cinderhulk burn. Look at that. The little ones died from just the burn alone. I accidentally autoed one of them, but the other one died from it. I'm gonna go ahead and shove in this wave. The nice thing about Cinderhulk is it also gives you wave clear. If you don't go for Cinderhulk, then you don't have much wave clear on Udyr, and you have to go like a crappy Phoenix, or you may have to get a Tiamat. So the nice thing about Cinderhulk is you can avoid having to go Tiamat, and you don't have to go Phoenix ever with Cinderhulk. It's really, really nice. So you still have a lot of wave clear. You still have really good clear speeds. Massive AoE wave clear as well. Gives you more options. And Cinderhulk is 125 gold cheaper than Warrior or Blood Razor. My teammates are pushing it in. Could go for Herald right now. Just keeping myself at a CS advantage. Herald would be the more optimal option here, but regardless, taking their camps is putting me ahead and directly putting them behind. I'm taking their food reserves here. We'll back up. My teammates are about to get clapped. Gonna Ian. See, the Shen Circle just blocked my Tiger stance. I mean, my Bear stance. My Bear stance stun. That is unfortunate. Our first death. That is why Shen is a hard counter to Udyr. I couldn't even stun him because of the circle. We're gonna go ahead and get our... Honestly, I'd say Thornmail, most likely. Your next item after you have your Cinderhulk, you could either go Wit's End if they're AP heavy. You could go Thornmail, or you could go Black Cleaver. I'm feeling the Black Cleaver this particular game. I think Black Cleaver is going to give me high value. Or I could just get the Sterix if I really want to. You know what, Sterix might actually be pretty good. We'll go Sterix into Black. Alright, let's get the Black Cleaver. Yeah, that's fine. Going Sterix to Black Cleaver is both good. The only reason why I'm leaning towards Black Cleaver is I want that 20% CDR and I want to be able to shred Shen. I can actually beat him in a fight one-on-one because I have double his CS and I'm a little bit more fed than he is. We will be fighting for this next dragon, even though they got Rift Herald. It shouldn't matter too much. One thing you guys should know is if you, as a team, are behind, Rift Herald doesn't give much value. Because if you lay it, we'll just break it. Rift Herald is better for the winning team than it is for the losing team. Oftentimes, when the losing team takes it, it's more about keeping it away from the winning team than anything else. It's not like they're going to get high value out of it unless we're not paying attention. Just something you should think about. We'll be fighting for this Dragon Soul, and then we'll end the game. Enemies are not particularly grouped. It's gonna be hard to kill Shen underneath turret, even if me and Bard are over there 1v3. It's that circle, man. They seem to be over here. Break out the vision. I'll wait out the dragon. LE over there. I actually like that they're chasing. That's good for me. Udyr doesn't perform best in 5v5s. He performs better in 1v1s, 2v2s. Oh, Brahm's here. Come on, Brahm. Don't do me like this. We're gonna run away. I thought Brahm was top side, but he was just chilling bot lane. He laid his Herald, which is gonna get beat by the cannon minion. That's sad. Yeah, cannon minion's trash in that thing. Look at the difference. 290 damage versus 60. The super minions are way stronger than Herald once Herald's laid. Alright, we're gonna go smash that inhib. We could just go for Dragon too. They're all three top side. You know, let's go for turret. We'll E straight at it. Hit it with our Q for the attack speed bonus. That's fine. We'll get a turret. I wish our super minions would stop hitting the minions. I'm gonna try to get my Cinderhulk burn closer to the minions. I actually messed up there. If I would have got my Cinderhulk burn closer to the minions, then we could have gotten our super minions on it a bit sooner. But the super minions will aggro minions over the turret, because if the minions are hitting your minions, then your minions are programmed to fight back. They don't like to get hit. We'll go for this dragon. I should be crippled inside base. Hit it with a stun. Look at that Cinderhulk burn. I did not even auto them, except for that last one. And that's pretty much GG. 20 minutes in, guys. Once we get this, our KP is relatively low. With the way the fights have been happening, it's usually been elsewhere on the map. So our KP is kind of low this game. We're at least getting the dragons. Even if you have low KP, if you can still find a way to give your team value, you'll come out on top. I'll go ahead and snag this blue buff. We can push for Baron after clearing these camps. I should probably go for the red buff here. Alright, let's go for it. I'll use my W there to give myself the third passive stack to get there slightly sooner. Since I have the mana for it, it's whatever. Looks like Lee Sin got himself picked. We're going to snag this and then we'll go beat up the Vayne. For your final item, so after we have our Sterix, we could either get Trinity Force, we could get Dead Man's, we could get Thornmail. Normally you're going to round off your builds with like a Thornmail and Wit's End. Normally you're not going to buy Trinity Force this late. Let's tear him up, man. Let's go. I mean, it may not have many kills, but we're super high level due to our CS score. Stun him. Bear stance speed up with the tiger stance. Attack speed OP, man. And that's how you play Udyr, guys. If you need to go back and figure out the runes and stuff, go to the very start of the video and find all that information there. If you enjoyed this Udyr commentary guide, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is KingStix, and thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.